That's the doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, we're here. I was talking to you guys and I didn't have the mute button turned off. So you probably didn't hear me until Glenn was kind enough to send me a message that says, unmute. Thank you, Glenn. You knew, huh?
I knew there was a reason I'm here.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was just talking away. So what was I saying? I was saying some really good shit that you'll never ever know because you weren't, I was muted. No, I was saying, welcome to People's Radio United, the People's Weekly. I'm here with Canadian Glenn. And then I went, bloop, unmute yourself, jerk face. And I was like, okay. What's going on in Canada? What's going on in Canada? I said Canada. That's that's a scary place nobody should ever be in.
Well, it does exist, though.
Yeah,
it's not very big, and it's pretty spread out. But yeah, it exists. Of course it does. But I don't know. Now that we're on this stupid daylight saving time already,
Canadians do that too.
Oh, well, of course, man. There's money to be made here, too.
I'm trying to get my dabs in, so pardon sound effects.
Ooh. Yeah, sound effects, right on. It's kind of looking like spring. Who knows? It's only mid-March. It's the odds of March. So I'm sure we could get screwed and get another blizzard yet before things move on.
Yeah.
Just because, just fuck you type of thing.
Audience, you are listening to
People's Radio United.
See, you even heard me hit the button. That's how awesome it is now. It's like they're here with us, Glenn.
And I hear it in everything.
You hear everything. Crazy. So yeah, we got to kind of do this show a little quicker today because I have other things I have to do and get to that are kind of priority today, personal business and work business and other stuff. So, yeah, well, you know what? I sent you that thing. You want to just start on that, the video I sent you? Glenn?
Sure, you want to talk about that, yeah.
I mean, we just start there. We can move on. There's a lot to talk about, unless you had another subject first or topic.
No.
So yeah, today I sent Glenn this video. Some of you may have seen it. It's a video that just came out today about a traffic little fender bender accident. And between this younger black cat and this white dude that's older with his wife. And he looked like a cop, but he was just a citizen supposedly doing his, or, civilian doing his shopping or wherever he's coming from. So anyway, they had a fender bender and the white dude's over there screaming, calling them all kinds of N-words and monkeys and everything else. Didn't care the camera's on there. He was talking to the camera about why he was saying it and how awesome it was. Yep. Turns out this dude is a LAPD Rampart Division pig who retired a few months back. So
shocking.
I mean, he retired. So this racist piece of crap was on the Rampart. I don't know if people don't know about Rampart.
Yes.
Go back and listen to any show I have with Alex Salazar. They made a movie called Training Day that was loosely based on that. Yep. That sick department. They were murdering people. They were robbing banks. They were selling drugs. They were gang banging, just like police do now. But they got caught, and they were doing it all out, blatant in the open. So yeah, Alex Salazar, he was one of the cops at the Rampart station at the time. He's no longer a pig. He's an activist, or he wouldn't have been on the show. So yeah, if you ever want to know about Rampart, listen back. So that they wiped it out, and they supposedly cleaned it up and all this and that, and yeah, they didn't do anything. They're still racist pieces of crap, still working there, because this was their coworker up until a few months ago.
Yep.
Last year sometime, which was just a few months ago. And this guy's on the force with a gun, backup, who's going to believe anything he says, and he's out there spewing racial slurs at some dude over a fender bender. I mean, Lord knows what he's done out there as a cop to some poor unsuspecting black cat that he pulled over and just did something, who knows.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in front of his wife, that blatant. The whole family's racist, evidently, right? She didn't say stop it. She was like, "Oh, that's my husband, the cop. He's doing his job even when he's retired." She didn't say that, but I mean, that's what she looked like. Go ahead, Glenn. I'm sorry, I'm ranting.
No, I mean, the other thing is, statistics show maybe Mrs. Racist ex-cop hasn't really said anything for maybe 20 or 30 years because, something might happen later. I mean, in my experience with police up here, the women who marry cops, they're either been scared into being silent all the time and not remembering anything they see, or they're fully supportive of it. It's one or the other. There doesn't seem to be any in between. So,
Yeah.
Mrs. X, cop, racist, pain in the ass, piece of shit. Yeah, it might be on our team, or I can't be on any other team. One or the other.
Yeah.
Or who knows? He might have even been showing off for her.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they've probably been married a long time.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably got racist children. Hopefully they broke away from that, from their indoctrination. But yeah, that's I mean, it wasn't like he was struggling like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like if there was just a word bad enough to call this guy. No. It just slipped off his tongue like it's something he say all the time, every day. Probably every day on the job, thousands of times to his partner. So yeah, that's that for all these cats. Oh, there's some good. There's just a few bad apples. Well, this guy retired, wasn't fired, no problems. And as you can see, a black dude bumps into his truck and he's out there screaming all kinds of, calling them monkeys and N-words and everything else, talking about zoos coming to get him or something, or handlers or whatever. Wow, just wow.
And
it would be horrifying if he wasn't a cop. It's even more horrifying that he was, you see?
And that just tops it off, though, that he retired from Rampart Division. Fuck.
Yeah, but let's just imagine something. Let's do the whataboutism right now real quick. What if that little dude got really mad? Was like, I ain't like this dude just screaming racial epithets at me. I'm going to sock him, which he should. You know what I mean? Everyone should have came and just beat that fool down. Pretty sure he had a gun somewhere on him. So he's going to shoot this kid, say he attacked him. The cops are going to come, and he's one of their own. He's going to be like, oh, yeah, he just attacked me. I didn't have... You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He's not driving around in that truck with his wife without a gun. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm saying it could have went so crazy. That dude had more restraint than most people. He's screaming the N-word at him, calling him all kinds of monkeys, walking up. You know, that's a lot of people would have just been like, nope, let me swing on him, and then what? You might get murdered. This black dude attacked me. I had no choice. He first ran into my car, then he attacked me for no reason. You're lucky someone was there with a camera. That's the thing that, you know, who knows where that could have went with this psychopath, racist ex-cop. Retired cop. He's not an ex-cop. They'll always look at him as one of them because he retired. He probably still have a lot of friends on the force. What's up, Celeb? Celeb's in the Twitch chat right now.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is still hanging around, you know, at their maybe their little social club gatherings that they have and shit like that, and the quote-unquote union for the cops. I'm sure he's still involved with that because, you know, the loyalty's forever with those boys.
Yeah, he's probably cool with people who work for the city, you know, all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah.
This probably won't even change anything because the police department released a statement saying, well, what could we do? He doesn't work for us anymore. He's retired. And what were we saying before the show? They can see if he won any awards as a cop, you know, those crap BS awards they give these cops. A lot of times they give it to them a year after they murder somebody innocent and unarmed. They give them some award. That's a traditional thing they used to do. Take them from him, demote him, make it, you know, like let everybody know he doesn't have any honors. Take his pension. I don't know. He doesn't represent us in any way, shape, or form. Because y'all know you worked with him. And if he's going to step out of a car in those cars wasn't bashed. You know what I mean? That happens every day. And you're going to be upset. Yeah, but are you kidding me? Who jumps out the car and starts screaming racist stuff?
Cops.
Yeah. There's been a real uptick right now off the subject. We're kind of on the same subject. Just turning the page. The United States of America with 3 Ks. Yeah, there's been a lot of attacks on Asian people, man. Older Asian people, younger Asian people, hate speech toward them. That's really rough, and we know where it came from. Came from these jackass Republicans and Trump people calling it all this virus, blaming it on China. And to them, all Asian people are Chinese, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's disgusting. And and a lot of this bigotry, man, it transcends different races, too. Like, you got other cats from other races doing what the white supremacists are doing. And it works the other way around. You got Asian people that will go with the white supremacists and attack black people. You got black people that will do the same. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's just crazy.
What's the one constant?
White. I understand that part, but I'm saying you need to stomp it out, not join it. You dig?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, you know, this is exactly why on the other side of the coin, stuff is still around where people are referred to as Uncle Tom. Well, that's why.
It could be. I mean, there are robberies too, and I'm sure one of them looked like a robbery, but they were calling it a hate crime because it was some black dudes attacking an Asian old man. So either way, it's wrong. You know what I mean? I wasn't in this. Go rob some corporation. You know, go rob a bankster. Why are you robbing people in the streets? Just trying to go to the store, do whatever they're trying to do, man. And if you wasn't robbing them, then you was assaulting them because they were different than you. And that's bigotry, and you got to stop that. You're no better than the same. And I was looking at these cats and thinking, I bet these cats hate Trump. I bet you none of them, I bet you if you said Trump, they'd all be like, oh, F Trump, I hate Trump, blah, 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 right? But they're getting this from Facebook. They're getting this from online. The China virus and the Kung flu, all that silly, what do they call it? lighten up. It's not racist. It's just jokes, right?
Uh-huh.
All that kind of stuff. And it gets through to people. And then they start to say, these people are less than me. And they infecting me. You see what I'm saying? I'm locked in my house because of these people.
Yeah.
Not because of a pandemic that nobody could control that goes around. Well, you don't blame for the flu. I blame the person that sneezes on me, basically. But I don't blame the whole race.
But I mean,
this is... go ahead, sorry.
This is the basis of fascist communication. Every issue, every problem, every inconvenience gets personified. And then it gets put on to a demographic or an identity, and it's their fault because that is something that is tangible. You know, it's not like reading a bunch of charts and no, this is way easier. Here, it's his fault. Blame him. And, you know, human nature, which is just a cover for laziness and stupidity. But, you know, this is something that people can act on. If you just give people the facts and tell them to say, well, 6 weeks ago when this happened or that happened, that's why the numbers are so high now in this area for the pandemic or stuff like that. They don't give a shit about that. They want to know who they can take their frustration out on now. You know, that's what sells. And people are addicted to that product. That's another big danger. When people start to depend on that sort of not us framing for everything, you know, then that's a dangerous point on the path. When people will just accept something because it can be tied to a group that's already on their bad side, already being attacked. You're already supposed to be afraid of them. You know, this is how this garbage builds. I mean, you know, it's true what people are saying, though. I don't think there's a huge amount of, okay, let's cut that out from the new power structure. Because, you know, I don't think they want to be buddies with the People's Republic of China. They certainly want to get some respect back from after Trump, but they're not going to sell out either. So I think it's pretty easy for the establishment in the U.S. to just immediately blame all this on MAGA and the Q-tards.
Oh, definitely.
And throw up their hands. But we've seen other things talked back much, much quicker from this new administration. Look how Trump treated indigenous in the United States. And look at how the Biden administration has used the appointment of Deb Haaland as the Secretary of Interior. And they're not standing for any racist Indian talk in their administration.
Yeah, they're just gonna go ahead and take people's land and put pipelines through and everything else, right?
Yes, but you know that's not what makes the news.
But they're not gonna say anything racist about the native people whose land they're screwing over for eternity, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, isn't that's the brand of fascism these stupid Democrats like? They're like, we anti-fascist. You're not anti-fascist if you support Biden. I mean, I'll even go so far as to say, screw you people who voted for Biden, but okay, you were like, oh, we don't have the guts to stand up and say none of the above, so we'll just go with the guy that's not Trump because Trump's pretty scary. And that could have been anybody, but then still supporting him after now when you've seen what he's doing. I mean, you had 41 years, 42 years, whatever, to see what he's been doing. He hasn't changed. Biden hasn't reformed. No more than Trump has. But y'all too stupid. You let him give you anything. And then you go and report me for supporting cops. You're a bunch of scum, Democrats. these same Democrats were like, defund the police. Now they're like, that woman deserved what she got. You know? It's blue MAGA and red MAGA are really hard to see the difference between for me, man. I don't know. Real hard.
Well, it's going to take a while for it to take any actual form, you know? Like it took a little bit for MAGA to really figure out where their boundaries were, what they wanted to talk about and what they didn't want to talk about. Of course, they tried to talk about everything, and then that just ended up causing more damage than scoring points because they're so fucking stupid. So, you know, I think the blue MAGA is going to coalesce around a few things, but it's not clear yet what it is. But there will be something, you know. It's probably going to be military budget. So, I mean, Lockheed and Boeing and Raytheon will have all kinds of money for those guys to talk. I mean, you know, this is the thing about the U.S. And like we've talked about before, I get it that I see things different than American listeners and you do because you're inside. I'm outside.
Can I just say something real quick? Sorry, this is off subject like a motherfucker, but the video that's playing currently, these are cats I know, and they gave me permission to use the video any way I want. So they want it to be seen on video. Just so you be like, why are you showing these cats' faces when the police are just messing with them? You watch the whole video, we be talking up and down the block when while this is going on. So I don't want anyone to be thinking like, why is he filming this guy coming from the police? Yeah, these are people I know really good, getting hemmed up by the police for no reason. So, and there's like 90 cops. I don't know if you can see it, Glenn. because people say stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why are you filming those people getting? Because it's a real close up of him walking up, talking to me, and yeah, he wanted that video out. He's also sent me videos of him filming the police. He's doing good. I mean, to go from just, you know, doing what you're doing, hanging out, to trying to do something to make things better for you and people around you by keeping the cops accountable, especially when you're a young black dude with braids, you know, it could get really rough really fast. Yeah. But he's brave when he still do it, so it's commendable, right? I just had to shout that out. But anyway, back to the Biden switcheroo.
No. Exactly. See, that's just it. I mean, that's somebody who has decided to take action in their immediate environment where they can get a tangible payback for the effort they're putting in, like right now. And it can make things better for him and other people right now. That's the way things should be done. But, you know, we're going to see things like this that are going to show up on stations like KTLA, where they'll send their ex-cheerleader, field reporter out to find a couple people and say, see, look, things aren't so bad. But then there are others that will never see the light of day. What I find amazing about the U.S., and it's because of the TV channels I can see if I choose to, from what they say in D.C. to down to the level of what they say in the big American cities, it's all changed since Biden became president. And I don't know if Americans see it the same way everybody else does, but it's changed. It's not the same pattern. It's not the same cadence, because the big thing I notice being in Canada, if you watch any local news from Los Angeles or Chicago or New York or Atlanta, it's like they're all written in the same goddamn studio for the most part. They will, so many of them even run the stories in the same order. And that's changed. since Biden became president. There's a new format that they're going to try and use on the American public at large. And I'm just, I really wonder if people really notice that bigger picture part of what's going on.
I don't think they do. I mean, it's just so confusing, man.
By design.
No, I mean, well, I don't see how it's confusing for these people. I really don't. All you have to do is read. All you have to do is look back through history, man. What has Biden voted for? What has Biden written? What has Biden pushed forward as far as policy? I know he's a cool dude that says, hey, man, back up, man, and corn pops, my friend, man, and whatever. That, he's relatable. He's like everyone's uncle that I've never had an uncle like that. He's like the grandfatherly figure. I never had a grandfather like that. My grandfather my great-grandfather fled the Armenian genocide. My grandfather was all jacked up from getting shot up in World War II. Missing limbs and stuff, so
yep.
That's where it's at. I didn't have a Joe Biden, somebody out there making sure black people and native people and Latino people suffer while the rich get richer and the defense contractors come up. I didn't have anybody like that in my family, unfortunately. Sorry.
Very few did.
Yeah, but I mean, they say Uncle Joe. Yeah. He ain't my uncle.
You know who the first Uncle Joe was in American culture?
McCarthy?
Stalin.
Oh. They called him Uncle Joe?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. And Kamala Harris is like that brutal authoritarian cop auntie we've all had. No. Never had one. The one who comes to dinner and laughs about locking mothers up for keeping their kids out of school because they're really poor. That auntie, the one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, there is one way that they were able to really change the narrative, though, is because, Trump administration tried to ignore the pandemic as much as they possibly can. And as we've talked about before, Biden is putting a lot of political capital into dealing with COVID-19. And it's a big gamble, but I mean, there's nobody that knows the expanse of the U.S. government from the White House like him. Like he knows every place there's a stockpile of who knows what. So, I mean, he's willing to use the physical abilities of the U.S. federal government to do this. And it looks to me like there's enough people within that system that understand this is real and this is an emergency. So they're actually getting off on doing their job. So he's winning over the social service by just doing the right thing. So, I mean, people bitch about this in Canada all the time, that when a new federal government comes in, they kiss the ass of the bureaucracy. Because there is no government without I don't know what it is, 100 and some thousand people that work for the federal government.
The bureaus.
Yeah. So if he can get this COVID thing really seriously heading towards an end instead of just this little roller coaster thing that's been going on for a year, and if he can get the federal employees to think it's a good thing and they're happy to be part of it, that's building some serious power from the grassroots of the government up. That's important because we've seen the other side of the coin, where Trump puts in people at the head of agencies and bureaus who are only there to fuck it up, and we see how quickly that can be done.
Well, I mean, they're not there to really fuck it up. They're there to privatize everything. And they got to destroy it before they can privatize it sometimes. Why are you being so judgmental, Glenn?
Well, for a famous Canadian quote, I dismiss the premise of the statement. So, I mean, yeah, that's what's wrong with it. They're destroying it before they privatize it. That's how they're fucking it up.
Yeah,
But it doesn't take long, you know?
No. Look how fast Trump got to a couple of things. Look at what DeVos is just doing damage, man. If you would have got 4 more years, who knows what would happen to some of these institutions. And Biden, by default, I don't know what he's going to do. He might go 50-50 on it. Be like, I tried to save these, but these were unsavable. Too bad they had to be privatized. Darn it. Now they're going to send lobbyists to me. Who needs that?
Well, that's just it. That's the other thing that gets lost in the bigger narrative. It doesn't matter what idiot A does. Idiot B will come in and never reverse everything idiot A did. It just never happens.
Exactly.
Never. Because it works for somebody with money that matters.
You choose your battles wisely. You say, well, this can benefit me or us or whoever, your party or you or whatever you think. Rarely your constituents. Yeah. But, this could benefit me, so I'm going to fight really hard for this other thing and let this one go and be like, well, we're working on it. We're going to get to it. You know what I mean? They just push it off indefinitely. Yep. They do that all the time with things.
Yeah, it's called reform, I think.
Reform. Well, I mean, you got to realize Biden is already the greatest president in the history of the U.S., let alone the world, let alone the U.S., because he's cutting child poverty in half by giving families up to $3,000 per child or something, and it's over. Poverty's done, man. I'm going to go start high-fiving poor kids right now because they're going to be, man, it's over with. And the stimulus, this $1,400, is that what it is? Yeah. Minus a $600, yeah. That's going to save everybody, man. He's amazing. I think we should all go touch him. Not in a weird, creepy way like he does little girls' hair. I mean, just, like a golden statue idol of a cow you just want to touch to get this power.
I think
Biden's amazing, man. Has any president in the history of this country ever just cut child poverty in half with signing of one bill?
Well, I don't know. Has anybody ever claimed it in a press release before?
Nobody's that stupid or foolish, but nowadays, I mean, it's the most foolish thing, but I see people online boosting it up like, wow, look, he did it. No, he didn't. That's just some weird stuff to say. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, there's not enough American citizens who really understand that how I would say between 80 and 90% of the things that affect them every day in their life in one way or another, the decisions for those things are not made in Washington, D.C. They're made in their state capitals and they're made in their city halls. So, this is why I think federal governments get away with this big circus of, oh my God, look what we're doing. No one can defeat us. We are on this task. Well, when the federal task is just saying, okay, well, we're going to make this much money available. These are the minimum requirements. Who's got a plan? Let's hear it. I mean, I've been hearing this week about how Biden offered money to Mississippi to put a whole shitload more people on Medicare, and Mississippi would have made money doing it. And the Republican governor said no. Like, this just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Their people don't rise up because they got him controlled, like we talked about last week. Their trusted preachers telling them, hey, this is our guy. If you care about guys, you're going to vote for this guy because the other guy eats babies and worships demons. Come on now. The choice is not that hard. That's what they're telling him.
And he puts pineapple on his pizza.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I draw the line with that. That is truly against God.
It may very well be. But
That's that when Moses broke the other, the 15 commandments, when he broke the other 5, that was one of them. Thou shalt not put pineapple on pizza ever. Instant death. That's what it said. Lightning strikes and all that. Ew. You really like that, Glenn?
That's a big thing in Canada.
Because of Canadian bacon. We call it ham out here.
It's close.
You have to go to a special place to get Canadian bacon.
Yeah, it's a racket. Just like Canadian maple syrup, it's a racket.
Let me ask you this. You don't call it Canadian bacon. You just call it bacon. Or do you just call it ham?
We call it back bacon.
Back bacon. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Oh, Canadian bacon. How did we even get on this? Oh, because I got kicked off Twitter for wanting to slaughter pigs. Oh.
No lessons?
See, that's the thing. There was this whole exchange. And the dude was like, yeah, you're such a coward, a big brave guy talking all that smack about the police online. And I was like, thank you for noticing. You must have seen my YouTube channel. And then all of a sudden, everything I have on there is getting reported up and down my whole timeline. I said there's a pesky thing called the First Amendment, which in the streets there is, but on Twitter there's not, because there's a company. I know that. I know the job is dangerous when I took it. I don't care. Like, whatever. You kick me off, you kick me off. Oh, well. Give me a couple more, like maybe 40 more minutes a day, maybe.
That's true. We just refocus our available time. That's right. I mean,
I got Spreaker, I got Twitch, I got Instagram, I got other Twitters. I got everything, man. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yep.
I've never been about the numbers. I'm about the quality. I want somebody to take this in and think about it and be like, yeah, you know what? We should stop this. We should abolish the police. I should get out here and start helping somebody. I should do something. I'll do a clothes drive. I'll do whatever they, like the union kind of thing.
Yep.
Just inspire people. If you inspire 2 or 3 people and it inspire more people, that's great. I don't care. Some dude with less followers than I have on the other day was saying that, like, oh, you're weak. First he said the police should have locked me up and all this for filming them, and that's how the thing started. And then he was like, oh, you don't even have any followers. So, however, whatever he was saying, because I did have less than him on Instagram. And then he kept bringing it up, like, oh, what did you get 4 likes on here? It was like 32, but he kept saying 4, right?
Yeah.
And then I looked at his account, and it was just him leaning on random people's cars in the streets, like, expensive cars, taking pictures with them like they was his, but they wasn't. And then in the end, it was like, man, like, why do you care? I kept saying, why do you care? I said, I have more followers than you across all the platforms except here. Why do you keep bringing this up? It's stupid and it's ignorant. Get the message out. Get your message out to the people that are going to listen to it. You don't need millions of people, because that just brings you more trolls. I have enough problem with these jackasses being annoying. I've seen people that get really big, man. They're getting death threats daily. Crazy stuff, emails, doxing them is just it's stupid. Whatever. I've been small and I've had that stuff happen back in the days, as you probably know.
Yeah.
And I was nobody. I'm still nobody. But I was a little less of a nobody than I am, more of a nobody than I am now. And they were attacking the crap out of me. I had to dox myself at that time. It's ridiculous. But, yeah, get to the people. Like, everyone should do a podcast. Everyone should film the police. Everyone should get a message out to the people, like, this is what's happening. We got that dude. I don't know. Let me give this dude a shout out on Twitter real quick because he's awesome, man. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on enough where it's like he's solid, right? Nobody agrees on everything. I'm looking him up because he has a different name than what his account is. He films the police and he gets stuff done. Oh man, where is it?
And that's in L.A.?
Yeah, he's in Hollywood usually.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for his account. Give me a second. Like I said, I got kicked off Twitter, so it gives me, every time I come on, it gives me this little, you know you're not allowed. I can't tweet. Here it is. I'll give you his account. Oh, it is. Film the Police LA. Sorry. Film the Police LA at Film the Police LA on Twitter. Follow him. He's awesome. And he takes it further because where I have a problem working with the police in any way, even if it's against the other police, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be around him. I don't want to talk to him. Excuse me. I'm like, if they really cared, then they take it seriously and ask me for my video or something, or just get it offline, you know?
Yeah.
All this extra, going through the ringer and getting nothing accomplished. I'm not good at that anyway. It's not my strong point. But he's really good at it. He files all the paperwork, and he get cops really mad at him. You need to watch his back probably too. I worry about him. I don't know him like other than on Twitter. You know what I mean? We're close by. We both do a lot of the same things. He's out there way more than me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, if I see him, I'll do that. If they piss me off one day, I'll go find him. But he's like religious with it, you know? He really out there helping a lot of people a lot of times a day. Or I might do it a few times a week. He's out there every day or every other day, every night, all the time. And I let people off the same like with me, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, he does the work as far as filing complaints and getting these cops written up time and time again, and that's so awesome and commendable. Give him a follow. If you don't follow him. Retweet his stuff, boost him up. I mean, he needs this stuff he does is way more advanced, you know, as far as punishing them for real. Me, I'm just kind of there trying to get their attention off who they messing with. And like, if they screw with me, they'll kill me, or somebody, my family or me, gonna get a lawsuit then, right? But
Well,
yeah.
he has made a commitment, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, for anyone that's coming in, Film the Police LA on Twitter. Follow that account. Yeah, and he shows you the follow up here, and he's really good about it. So yeah, that's somebody definitely to follow. Anyway,
Well, you know, you could always get an account on Parler, because it's pretty clear now, after this article by William Turton in Bloomberg today,
nice segue.
Parler ain't going nowhere. And they have real money behind them, which everybody kind of figured out, figured anyway, but now it's confirmed. There have been some recordings that have come out about some of the all hands on deck group calls from the board and the interim CEO of Parler, Mark Meckler, all the way down to, whoever has anything to do with them, really. And what a surprise. Big checks have been coming in to get Parler ready to come back with a bang from none other than Rebecca Mercer, her of Cambridge Analytica fame, what a surprise. I'm just looking. I mean, it sounds like they kind of give a review and they say that these are almost like Salesforce meetings. That's the same old shit they're doing. Mr. Meckler on the phone call on February 8th said, "This is a war, and you're in the war, and we're all going to link arms." If they said Sieg Heil after that, I'm not sure, but Rebecca Mercer herself was on a call on February 15th, which was the day that Parler relaunched without having an APK to get at an app store. She said, "Shutting down free speech is the first step toward tyranny and despotism, and we can't let it happen. And so we will do everything we can to fight back against that. And we are so proud and thrilled that you guys have all stood by us during this whole time."
When they say, when they say free speech, they mean racist hate speech, bigoted hate speech, nationalistic speech. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. They know it's repulsive, but they insist they have a right to say it. But, from what Mercer said there, it reminded me of one person right off. That sounds like the same sort of bullshit that Cocaine Kim Guilfoyle is saying before Trump came on. It's the exact same bullshit.
The best is yet to come. That one?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cocaine Kim. That's hilarity.
So, of course, Bloomberg asked for comment from Parler. No comment. Rebecca Mercer. No comment. But, they've got on the story on their website, they've got audio files of the calls. And apparently they have 2 data centers bought and paid for. So, yeah, Mercer's got a lot of money. And, that's sounds like Epic's going to be out of the picture, or else they're going to end up being like a defense contractor. They're going to get paid to grow their business, not just supply a product. So, who knows? Maybe they're going to try and put some armor on Epic. Maybe they're going to try and make it, their default provider because they know there's going to be more of these in the future. So, maybe that's an angle on it. There's got to be multiple angles if Rebecca Mercer is involved. Like I don't think she bats an eyelash for under maybe $25 million. So, but I mean,
I'm sure people are just not standing to lose money. Rich people don't want to lose money. That's why it's still around. That great bastion of hate speech, Parler.
Well, there's got to be an upside to put in this much effort, and yet they still don't have an app on Google Play or the Apple Store.
It's a place to propagandize and radicalize a very specific audience that's already set up and there for you. I think that's what it is. And also, of course, to market to these same people.
Well, that's a very good point. I mean, they've got a bit of data on their users, like everybody else does these days. But yeah, I'm sure that's a definite consideration. If we can retain the base we had, is this still a worthwhile venture? Even spending all this money to guarantee that this product remains for a while. They're wondering if we invest in the extended life of this product, is it worth it? And looks to me like it is if Mercer's there.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason Cambridge Analytica and SCL got shut down is because of all the bad press. That's it. It's not because they weren't making money, because they sure were.
Yeah. That's That's how it generally works. It's all about the money, man. CREAM. That was some real shit.
Yep. So yeah, Parler ain't going nowhere.
That sucks. That really sucks. Oh, you know what, dude? When Trump told us that y'all Canadians were shoe thieves, I let it go because I didn't believe the guy. I know he's a liar. I mocked you. But now I'm looking at this chat. It starts off with you hurting my soul, Glenn, and now celeb. Pineapple on pizza is number one. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If Trump had said Canadians like pineapple on pizza, I'd have been ready to bomb y'all into the Stone Age.
Even if it's not halal pineapple?
It doesn't matter. It's just wrong. It's just so wrong. And don't think I haven't tried it, because I even tried to pull the pineapples off once, man, but it still tasted like pineapple, cheesy pineapple. Ew, soggy. No. The hell's wrong with y'all Canadians? See? And I was going to move there too.
No, that's true. Mozzarella, back bacon, and pineapple. Up here, that's called a Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Oh, okay.
They don't call it the Canadian pizza. It's the Hawaiian pizza here too.
But then if we're going to talk about pizza, some of the shit I've seen come out of California.
Okay, I know what you're going to say. I've seen it too, and I wouldn't eat it. It's disgusting too. You're talking about like the peanut butter and jelly pizzas and all that?
And avocados, and like, fuck off with this stuff, man. Not everything is Burning Man, okay? Like, lighten up. It's food. Like, quit fucking with it.
Wait, you don't like your pizza with guacamole on it?
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
It is really. I think it, yeah. But still better than pineapple, I think. If I had to choose, I would take the avocado over pineapple.
No, I'm definitely in the pineapple side on that.
Oh, man. You see, this is the beginning of the breaking up of the People's Weekly show, y'all. I'm just letting you see it.
On-air strife.
Yeah. Me and Glenn are going to start doing rap albums, like, you know, tracks dissing each other really bad. Eventually it's going to turn into a international shootout kind of thing. I don't know who's going to be left, Glenn. Probably you. You have the better health care. Like, if we both get shot up and go to the hospital, you're going to live. Oh.
Maybe, maybe not. That's becoming less of a likely thing every day up here.
Yeah. We were talking about that before the show, too.
But, I mean, that's what's happening with social media. So, I mean, you know, Twitter rolling out these warnings that they put on tweets and identifying accounts that are from every other government in the world except the U.S. They don't seem to be identifying them too quickly. But, you know, Twitter's trying to make it look just like Uncle Joe's trying to make it look. Everything's fine. Remain calm. Stay indoors. But it's just a little lull.
They're as you know, the Trump-loving people are trying to get rid of Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California, for anybody who doesn't know. They're trying to do a recall. So now he's terrified of losing power or position or whatever. I don't know. Isn't he a billionaire or something? Or like extremely, like go away, dude. So he's going to open everything up and risk everybody's lives to appease these people in hopes of staying in office, I guess. It's really crazy. These people are scum. Every politician is scum. I just don't get why you all seem to love this one or that one. Not one of them has your back. Not one of them. They'll say they have your back. They'll do little things here or there, but none of them has your back. We were talking about Obama the other night, me and some other cats, and we were like, somebody was saying something like, yeah, but Obama, at least he likes black people. He's not. Everybody looked at him like, really? You think Obama hangs with any black people that ain't rich or famous right now? You think he's out there hanging with some common black cat? No. But he's hanging with a lot of white people, though. And rich black people like Jay-Z and Tyler Perry and, you know what I mean? People like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he ain't hanging with no average cats, no average people. And when I say average, I can mean, you know, a couple $100,000 on a nice house every day. I don't mean average like low. I mean average, anyone average that's beneath him. I mean, he upheld white supremacy for 8 years. Just like Bush before him and Clinton before him and all the way down the line.
Well, I mean, this is one of the problems that's endemic in America. Everything has to be personalized. Everything has to be put into a human character form. Ideas, concepts, teams, everything has to come down to a person. I don't know why, but this is the way everything is sold in the United States. Everything has to come down to a personal level. So it's something you can point your finger at and say, I love that,
well,
or shoot that, you know?
Because if you weren't doing that, then you point your finger at the whole system, and then everyone would lose out. All those people, not everyone, but all the ruling class, all the ultra wealthy, they'd all lose out. They'd be like, oh, you know, we can't keep pulling the wool over their eyes. They've seen through the wizard's curtain or whatever. It's over. The jig is up.
No,
so it has to be like
go.
that. It has to be like that.
And it's just so futile. But hey, pays the bills, right? Oh yeah.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. It's not paying the bills for a whole lot of people.
Yeah, fewer and fewer all the time.
It's paying the bills for the time. See, all of a sudden now, the Republicans have switched to the Democrats' position, and the Democrats switched to the Republican position on tons of issues, right?
Yep.
So now you got these Republicans screaming, how come the senators and Congress people don't make minimum wage in their state? These are the same people that voted for a dude who's calling himself a billionaire, who was pretty wealthy either way, right?
Yep.
And the Democrats are more than ever doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on supporting a rapist, a sexual predator. I'm going to go so far as to call him a rapist, but a rapey dude. So, yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Talking about what's Biden supposed to do. He can't just close down these camps. It's not that simple. I mean, we say this every week.
Yep.
He's filling them up. Seems pretty simple. Cops are murdering everybody every day. He hasn't even spoke up. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, but one old white dude was replaced with another old white dude. That's what's changed. Biden is basically Trump with his mouth shut and a smile on his face. That's basically, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this is the one way to look at it is Trump is the scary kind of insane. You never know what's going to happen. Biden is the collected type of insane. He still knows how to do anything that you could possibly think of and get away with it. It's just that, you know, it's not going to be just out of the blue, wham. And there will have to be an actual reason for it at some level. That's it. So, I mean, you know, which type of sociopath do you want? The one that's completely off his rocker and actually believes he's some sort of chosen person? Or the other one who's put in a lifetime and now he's getting his payoff? It's two ways to look at the same thing. You know. But hey, no problem.
Oh, okay.
But hey, no problem, you know.
I got to get used to this mute button.
The one thing I want to say, though, about Newsom and also Cuomo in New York, I still find it very interesting that the two biggest states in the union that consistently vote Democratic suddenly now, right after the last election, both their Democratic governors seem to be under a pile of shit they're never going to get out of. What a coincidence. And then you look at some of the voting, quote-unquote, laws that have been passed at state level already since the election last November. And they're Republican houses, and they are gerrymandering the fuck out of the system. They are basically taking votes away from people in states. And just think about all the Republican money that thinks if we could get Republican houses in California and New York, we could fuck it up there too. And then, you know, so I mean,
Californians' votes don't really matter. I mean, because the Electoral College, you're going to get wiped out by some small town in the Midwest because there's 40 people there, their vote has to be 1,000 times more important. No, it doesn't. But whatever. I mean, they could just move. Well, they say that to everybody else, right? Those same people. You don't like it, just move. If you don't like it, leave the country. Well, you know, if you don't like it, just move. Quit living off our tax dollars and screaming how much you hate socialism. It's really stupid and sickening, and you look like buffoons.
But that's the quirk with your guys' system. Your vote for president is based on the Electoral College. So yeah, some clown in Wyoming, his one vote has as much weight as probably 4 or 5 square blocks in Los Angeles, if not more.
Something like that.
So that's one thing. But who sets the rules on who's allowed to vote in that election? The states do.
Yeah.
And that's how they keep getting all those clowns elected down south. I mean, people have to realize how much Georgia bucked the trend with what they've done in the last election and their Senate runoffs. As far as Republican strategists are concerned, that was never supposed to happen. So we have to make sure it never happens again. So let's kick a few million African Americans off the voting rolls.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's crooked as fuck.
That's why I always say don't vote, revote.
You would think that couldn't be any worse result.
I mean, you're getting 2 terrible people. None of them have your best interest. Why do these people go for it? They're so dumb. They're so brainwashed. It's so ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh, I don't get it. Blue MAGAs and red MAGAs. Wake up. Y'all just suck. You're ruining everything for everybody.
Well, and yet it's early days with this new 4-year game, you know, and we'll see what the 2-minute warning is like in fucking 2022. So, you know, there's all kinds of shit. I mean, there's still so much to go through yet as far as January 6th and all that crap. This is going to be going on for a while.
I was listening to a ultra right-wing radio show that they listen to at my job sometimes earlier. And there was some guy, I don't know who he was. It was it's the Bastian Gorka show or whatever it is. Well, there was some guy he was talking to, and this woman was there talking with him, and she was kind of interviewing some, I don't know, some really important guy in the Republican world, I guess. I didn't catch his name. Because what I heard shocked me, what he said. He said the people don't always know what's best. He says just because a candidate wins an election and is a populist candidate, doesn't mean that it's what the people need, because they're looking at people's looks and, how good they are on this and that. We need somebody that's going to get our agenda done, basically, is what he was saying. I mean, he's saying he's some Republican dude, this big wig within their party somewhere, and he's talking about people don't know what they don't have their best interest at heart when they're voting. We got to choose it for them, basically.
Well,
he wasn't even hiding that. He was just saying it boldly, on like it was such a good thing. And he was using California and Newsom as the example. Like, they voted this guy in because he looks good, and he's rich, and that's all they look at. They got to go with substance, and we have the substance, so we got to kind of find a way to make sure whether they vote for us or not, we're going to be in office. We're going to get that position for their best interest. Of course, the listeners, you know that, right?
That is straight out of the textbook of authoritarian populism. That's all that is, flat out. That is someone who is put on a pedestal, announcing to the congregation that, this task has to be undertaken for your own benefit. Comply. It's just typical, unfortunately. I mean, it's nothing but the shit that Limbaugh started, that Beck carried on, that is, O'Reilly, Carlson. It just goes on and on and on. I mean, I can remember when I was younger, and I would still watch stuff on PBS where William F. Buckley was talking. And I mean, even then, he's like, that's as Republican as it gets, Buckley. But the guy, he was rich. He liked to be rich. He thought him and his friends should be rich. But he didn't immediately think that everybody else was worthless. I mean, there was a certain little bit of humility to real conservatives after Nixon, until the Reagan Revolution came along. And we got people like Gingrich and the rest of these parasites. But now it's flat out. There's no more. I mean, look we were talking about before the show. Look what's going on in Britain. I mean, you look at polling, and there's nobody else to elect. Why? What happened? What has caused this coma in the United Kingdom? Well, between COVID and Brexit and the political assassination of the British Bernie Sanders.
Corbyn.
And it's all the same players involved over there, just like it was in the U.S. So you don't have to think too hard about who the hell would do that. All the same people for even more money. And yet they just passed second reading of a bill in the House of Commons in London today that basically outlawed protest in the United Kingdom.
Are you kidding me?
No. Everything now is a discretion call. They're going to dump responsibility onto police. And the penalties are unbelievable. And this is the same type of shit that was passed here, where I live. And they tie it to critical infrastructure. And they try and make the little word salad association to terrorism. They want to equate terrorism to protesting. That's the goal. And, you know, I know it doesn't mean shit to Americans, but for me, Britain is where our system of government started. And this is ridiculous. I mean, there are people screaming that even during the Second World War, we didn't have rules like this. Like, what is this bullshit? Plus the pandemic, plus everything else. It's unreal. I think there's a lot of people over there that are saying this is as close to a police state as the kingdom has come, like, forever. So if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. And it may.
Yeah, there's a state, I don't know, I'm thinking it might be New Hampshire. I'm not sure. I got to look it up. But anyway, the Republicans, I think, are the ones trying to put a bill through. And it passed. It's got to go to, I don't know. I got to really look it up. I read about it like a week or two ago, or maybe a week ago. I don't remember all the details. But basically what it is, it's a law they're trying to get passed where it's illegal to disparage a cop, even with hand gestures.
Yeah.
Even at protests, which is a direct violation of the First Amendment. Because, as we've said a million times, it's not about screaming racist things. It's about dissent against your government.
Yep.
Being critical of your government. And the pigs are the government. They're the enforcers. They're the ones that come out here and kill for America, slaughter people, lock people in cages, kidnap for America, right? That's what they're doing. They state-sponsored thugs. They can get away with anything. And then retire with all these nice commendations and everything, and then get an offender bender and scream racist crap at the dude. Oh, I hate police, man. Anyway, I know we got to wrap this soon. So what did we miss, Glenn, before we go? I know we missed the sponsors, but what else? Anything else we got to go over?
No, nothing we got to go over.
Yeah, we got to fight these stupid laws that are taking people's rights. I don't care if you're in the UK. I don't care if you're Canada. I don't care if you're in the US, Mexico, Africa, any part of Asia, anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, the Middle East, it doesn't matter where you are. Don't let them make these oppressive laws, and don't let it get worse. If it's already oppressive, fight to make it better. Unite and do that. If it's becoming more oppressive, fight to make it not become more oppressive, and then knock it back. We got to do this. I mean, we're one species on the planet, and there's a very small amount of our own species brutalizing so many people, and it can easily be stopped. We just have to unite and do it.
And the ride continues.
Woo-ah. Oh, hang on. So the people know.
People's Radio United.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. Okay, so what are we gonna do? The sponsors.
All right. You know, it's such a big deal now. I can actually hear the tune.
All right, go ahead, Glenn.
Well, today's show is brought to you by a consistent sponsor lately, Kosher Kush.
Wicked. Oh yeah, you're still on that. Nice.
Yep.
You know, I got some fire, but I don't know what it is. It's like not even labeled. So
Brand
today's
X.
show is sponsored. Today's show is sponsored by some bomb ass weed. A strain of a mystery strain. So yeah, it's purplish and it's nice and it's stanky and sticky and wondrous, but I don't know the strain name. That sucks. Huh. So yeah, anything else, Glenn, before we go?
No, that's about it.
Oh, look, we got a little fascist in the chat. It's what you call a copsucker. He also seems to hate black people. He wants to kick their asses.
Yeah.
Scrub Lord 1963. Eat a dick. All right. That's it for today. Thank you, everybody listening. And we'll catch y'all probably next week.